Hollywood was training with Mahomes and Rice. Is the wide receiver room set into the draft? Kelce has a lot of things outside of football. Is his retirement looming? Sneed was linked, then unlinked to Indy. How should we feel about this? Royals and the Chiefs want us to vote yes. Should we do that? All this next on Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
Welcome back to this episode of Gridiron Gambit. I am your host, Dale Fowler, along with both of my buddies right here, Clinton and also Lonnie. How y'all doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good.
Well, we definitely got a lot to talk about. I wasn't able to be on the last episode, but before we go ahead and begin, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and click that notification bell so you can get all the videos that we have posted on there in our reels as well too. And also make sure to subscribe to our Substack as well. Become a paid member. That way you can get all the exclusive content and videos that we post on there as well too, when we talk about what's coming up throughout the off season and also going into the season as well. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. Now, Brown, he's in the starting role. He joined the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's already seen working out with Patrick Mahomes and Bobby Stroupe. Clinton, let's start with you. How do you feel about the dedication, and is this sufficient for the wide receiver room in free agency?
I love the dedication, and I think it's something that, like, every time you hear, oh, there's a weapon with Mahomes, you instantly assume they go to do this, and it's nice to see that actually take place, where the wide receiver says in press conference he's excited, gets to play with Patrick Mahomes, and then literally the second he gets here, he immediately goes to see Patrick Mahomes and starts doing whatever training regimen that his trainer suggests. So to start, I love the move. I love seeing the dedication out of Hollywood Brown, and I think it shows that if something goes well here, they're already starting to build up that relationship between the quarterback and wide receiver, and if this year goes well, you could possibly see a long-term deal come through, either with us or with another team, depending on how he balls out. But you can see the dedication, both physically and maybe even mentally, from Hollywood. You can look at his past quarterbacks. One was Kyler Murray, known to play video games and all that, and Patrick Mahomes can do that. But Patrick Mahomes is a no-nonsense guy, and he's always training. Literally a week after the Super Bowl, he's doing the hardest training regimen just to get ready for next season's Super Bowl. And then whether or not this is the move to end all wide receiver moves, I think in terms of names that we know about, yes. Obviously, there's been some hints about one OBJ being seen in several places, like on said workouts of Patrick Mahomes. So it's clear to see that Odell would like to be with the Chiefs. We've done some polls here with our social media, and it's been 50-50, but majority are leaning towards no thank you. I'm not 100% opposed to the idea if the money's right and the contract makes sense and the fit in the role that he knows he's going to play here. But if we were expecting the same type of fanfare for him like last offseason, and then the $13 million in salary that he ended up getting from Baltimore, I think just for that reason alone, a lot of people would shun their nose and just go about with the status quo. So all that to say, I think that one move almost kind of assured things in people's mind, and they're ready to hit the draft. And if the wide receiver falls to them that fits their scheme, this move doesn't inherently take away that selection.
Okay. Lonnie, how you feel about it?
Yeah, so I feel like it's a sufficient move, but I don't think they're done making moves as far as the draft goes. But as far as free agency, I think they've really closed the door as far as wide receiver goes. Like Clean said, I feel like if it's the right price for Odell Beckham, maybe they go ahead and do that. But I just feel like with that kind of that production that he had last year, I don't see them going head first in to give him $13 million. Just myself personally. However, I feel like it's great. Like I said, I feel like I see this a lot from any wide receiver that's signed to the team. They tend to go down to Texas and work with Bobby Stroupe and Mahomes. Like I said, I was asking you guys off air. I wonder how everybody's training camp their camps kind of feel about them going and doing that. But I also like what you said, Dale. Like you're learning from some of the best. So why not work out with the best? But I just was. It's just different. I think you don't see it a lot from guys just immediately going and working out with the quarterback. It's been a thing with Mahomes. I kind of like it. I like it better when it really translates onto the field. We don't always see it translate. He has met up with guys before. It's not like translate. I know he did this with Marquez. So like and it just it never materialized. It materialized the first year, but just not that second year. So
Yeah.
you I like it I want to see it translate. But I love to see it. That means he's wanting to work. He's happy to be there. He's ecstatic to come work with the quarterback. You want somebody that wants to be around. You want somebody that wants to be working with you, trying to figure out how you work. So I think it's cool. I want to see what it all materializes into. I would like to see more of the guys. Just like I feel like we see Rashee Rice and Rashee Rice and Kelce. We see all the rest of the guys a lot, but we don't see Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore a lot. Like it's just like certain guys we don't see with Mahomes a lot. So it's like it explains a lot, bro. I don't know. And I feel like they're not done making moves as far as the draft goes, but as far as free agency, I feel like this sold it up as far as a deep threat. This is the only thing that we were looking for in the offense, offensively wise, in our wide receiver room after letting Marquez go. So I think as far as free agency, it sews it up. But I think they're looking to add another explosive guy via the draft in that room, and that whether that be a wide receiver or running back.
I think both of y'all make great points. And just to begin with, Hollywood Brown actually starting to work out with Patrick Mahomes and Bobby Stroupe. I actually love the dedication just because I feel like this type of player, if given the opportunity, if he get when he gets the chance as well too, he'll be able to explode within his offense, barring injury. I think if he's healthy throughout the entire season, I think he can be 1,000 receiver guy here in Kansas City just because what we seen in Lamar's year with him in 2021, and he was able to get 1,008 yards. Just seeing what Patrick Mahomes does with guys who is willing to come in and loves the game just as much as him, and Hollywood Brown, you see when he was actually on his Twitch as well, he was very excited. So knowing that you're coming into this situation, I feel like this guy is going to bring a lot to this offense, and he's going to bring what Patrick Mahomes has been missing since Tyreek Hill left via trade a couple years ago. And also, just for proof, I know we said like guys like Marquez, it didn't translate for him, but it did translate for Rashee Rice. You seen that first year, even though he didn't get to 1,000 yards, if he was getting the targets very early on, he could have been in that 1,200 yard range, to be honest. But just because he is that yak guy, and he proved that to us as well too. He could have played the last game and got it as well if he really wanted to, but Andy Reid, if Andy Reid sees something in you and he wants to pull you and he knows you're going to be someone who does it in the playoff, that just right there should give you a boatload of confidence. So I think it's going to be like we already know what we're going to get from him. So bringing over someone who can kill you over the top, be able to be that deep threat again. Patrick Mahomes is going to love that within the offense, and we're fine. We don't need to make any moves in free agencies. I just put it out there right now. Odell, if you wanted to come, if you come in cheap, all right, bet. Because why not keep on adding on talent to what's already going to be lethal offense? Because a lot of people might disagree. I was talking myself into some stuff before Hollywood even came in, because we was already saying Rice is number one. I don't care. He's the number one. He might be our 1,500, 1,600 yard guy. He might really be that. We already know what we're getting from Travis Kelce. He's 1,000 yard consistent guy. Didn't get it last season. It's okay. Dealt with injury. Missed the first game. All right, cool. We know what we're getting from you. But being able to just, all right, add Hollywood on top of that, you get back a threat that you were, missing a while back, and you've seen it be stagnant the last couple of seasons. So we have a young guys. We still have a lot of young guys who is coming up and still stepping up and be able to fill in those holes. We still got someone in Justin Watson who's a veteran as well too. So that's why we're okay with going into the draft, because depending on who falls to us, we are set in that position. And I think they're ready to start looking at other areas like left tackle, and also trying to bring in some depth for the running back position as well too, because Jet and Clyde is free agents this offseason, and all we have right now is Isaiah Pacheco, because I think Deneric Prince as well too, because of that rookie contract. But Piron, he's gone, so we really only got two people. So we might be trying to bring someone in very soon. So hey, that's all I have on that. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the free agency. But I think we're cool. I think we don't hear nothing to the draft. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. So Clinton, he doesn't like this conversation a lot. We definitely get his thoughts about this very soon. But Travis Kelce is in talks to reboot Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And it's reported that New Heights is working towards a record-breaking deal as well too. They're talking about within the range of like 150 mil. So this may lead people to believe that he is one step out of the NFL, despite his proclamation saying that he has about 3 years or more. So Lonnie, let's start with you. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think Travis Kelce is actually ready to hang it up?
Yeah, I don't think he's just the passion that him and Jason have for the game, period, point blank. And it's just me personally watching him from the outside looking in, being a Travis fan, his passion that he has for the game. I don't think he's ready to walk away yet. I think he's just gotten to the golden years of his career, and I think he understands that. This was a guy that was with Kansas City during the down years and knows what it looks like to have a losing quarterback and never be on the winning side of things. So I think he wants to enjoy that for a long time. But I say that to say this. I don't think that this is not something that has cost Travis's mind. I think this is something that is on his mind a lot, which is why he makes some of the moves that he made. A la going to get with someone at the heights of Taylor Swift. I think this is something that he thinks about on a regular basis. Just period. Getting as far as when he walks away from football, this is a man that loves the spotlight, has a lot of charisma, a very friendly person, and just like a people person, period. I seen him a story, just a quick story. I seen him in Nike one time. He came into the store. I was working at the downtown Nike store here in Kansas City before it closed and moved to where it is now, still downtown on the plaza. He walked into the store and just was dancing with the girl at the front. Like, he's just like a real people person. So I think this is something that he's definitely thought about before. Seeing that he did SNL after we won that Super Bowl, that second Super Bowl, just kind of explains everything. Seeing how he talked about it on New Heights, how he kind of has dabbled and it has crossed his mind. Waddell likes to say his new phrase is, "Where there's smoke, there's fire." So I believe it to be a lot of fire here for Travis, but I'm excited to see what happens after football. But I think we got a lot of years left.
Now, Clinton, before I go to you, so I had to put it out there because you wanted to debate it anyway. But I'm gonna just put it out there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I always been saying that I see 3 more years. I mean, he's 34, about to be 35 this upcoming season. If he does 3 more years, he's going to be playing to 38, which is the normal age for a tight end going ahead to retire. Of course, we have our anomaly guys who just love the game so much and wants to keep on playing until they just can't play it no more. But I think he has so much success, and I think he already kind of completed a lot of milestones that's going to be hard for guys in his position to even break anyway, just because they weren't as consistent as he was. He only had one season where he dealt with injury and was out for that whole year, and that was his rookie year. And after that, he just been a guy who has been there the whole time. Just going and dabbling into acting, being a part of that, being an entertainer as well too, and just seeing some guys be able to succeed in that realm as well, due to the fact of their likeness already. So all you have to do is do some acting classes, participate, have a good time, be you, because sometimes people make stuff for you anyway. And being able to have your own podcast and make that much money, just like a guy like Pat McAfee, of course, he's a punter, just said go away, and he did what he did. But Travis Kelce's like, I got 3 Super Bowls. I played this last year. Say if they 3-peat and get 4. I think you have an argument. You better than Gronk. You're going to have the ones who just love the Patriot dynasty and love saying that this is a guy who's physical, who's great at blocking. Travis not even that bad at blocking. He's not as great as Gronk, but he does it all still as well, too. So you got all of this. You got people proclaiming you as the GOAT in that position. I don't think it's unfair or to, start thinking like, hey, this might be it for him. And going off into the sunset with your brother as well, too, kind of like a story end, storybook ending. Just a beautiful. Your brother was the reason why you got to this point. He watched you grow. He got his as well along the way and became great at his position. It's like you start putting that all together. You kind of talk yourself into it like, man, I need to prepare for this because I don't want to cry. Because I'm already looking at Patrick Mahomes, he's about to hit year 10 in a little bit.
Man.
I can't even join you that much, bro. I just feel like I just connected with you. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it away, Cleve.
Okay. Well, you guys gave me a lot to think about. But ultimately, I still feel the same way about Travis Kelce as I did throughout the entire process with Andy Reid. Oh, it's the perfect story. Retire on top. Go out. What else do you have to play for? What else do you have to coach for? Well, it's their lives, guys. They're in it. And how often do you hear about athletes talk about the times they played as their glory years and how they wish they could go back and how they wouldn't change a single second of it and how they just want to be with their teammates and just be in the locker room and just have those relationships again, right? That's what we hear about is what people feel like is what means the most to them after their playing career. Not necessarily all the championships, because not everybody gets them. Not all the money they accumulate, because like you said, he's got several different money-making ventures outside of football. He doesn't ever have to get tackled again if he doesn't choose to. But there's other things that matter to Andy Reid. There are other things that matter to Travis Kelce. We saw this postseason. He broke Jerry Rice's record for receptions in the postseason. Well, he's right there with Jerry Rice in 2 other categories: postseason yards and postseason touchdowns. Now, if Travis is a record chaser, maybe that is an incentive that keeps him on the field, and that has to be in the postseason. It has to be January and February. Any of that stuff counts. Right. We know that last season he did not play the last game of the regular season to not achieve his 1,000 and do something that has never been done. So Travis has shown a propensity to de-escalate a record if for the sake of the team. So we shall see if that is a contributing factor or not. But my point is there's other things that drive Travis Kelce than fame and money. And there's certain things that only football can do in Travis Kelce's life. And the second he doesn't have it anymore, he's going to be very nostalgic about these times. And the advice that he would give to himself in that case, and the advice that Andy Reid keeps giving himself, because the entire media won't stop retiring him before he has a say in when he wants to be done, is you don't think about that. You don't talk about that. You don't talk about like something is coming to the end, because then you're admitting it. You're right. Accepting it as a mentality. Andy doesn't think that way, and I'm saying that Travis doesn't think that way, and we're doing him a big disservice in pushing this narrative that he wants out, when all he's saying is, I love my teammates, I love playing football, I love the camaraderie, I love the tight end position. Say what you will, Travis Kelce isn't just about money or about fame.
Mm-hmm.
He,
No,
See,
yeah.
I'm good. Go ahead.
and I was gonna say I would just watch that episode of New Heights after SNL. If the thought creeps in to where you're remotely even thinking about life after football, which a lot of guys are. Not
Mm-hmm.
saying that I'm just saying that means that you've thought about it and it's been put together. And you kind of know what it looks like. And when you kind of start doing stuff like that, it become and you're upwards in age, they're gonna just kind of put two and two together that you're kind of getting ready to make an exit plan. Not saying that might not be the case. That might be the case, but it just looks like that from the outside looking in. But I will say this about Travis Kelce. I think his love for the game, like you said, is really, really great. I think even if he does walk away from the game, being that he's playing with damn near the Tom Brady of this generation, I don't think it's a guy that could stay out of football. Being how tight ends leave and come back so much, I don't even think he
Right.
would stay away. I don't think he could stay away for long. If he seen Mahomes going south, I think he would step back in and play football. Like, and he's not a guy that gets hit a lot and gets banged down a lot. So, like, I just don't.
It,
I think he's just too passionate in where he's at and the quarterback that he's playing with, and like the history that they're making. Like,
right.
I don't. He's super passionate about what he does.
And that's when you go back to, what Clinton was saying as well too. Kind of made me feel bad. I mean, like, I don't think you were trying to make us feel bad for what we were saying, but it is a disservice to keep
That
on
is true.
putting it out there, because what we keep on saying is what's really is seeping into your mind, and it becomes a part of like the thought process, then you're going to have to live within that and really start having to make these decisions. When if you just love the game and really you can still play at a high level, I'm not thinking about it.
Right.
With Andy Reid as well too, we can keep on talking about he's 60 plus years old. He's finally winning championships, and he's getting the credit he deserves as a head coach now. He needs to live and bask in that moment and take it all in, because it will come to an end one day. But we're going to let that person and God, whatever they believe in, tell them, like, hey, it's time for you to hang it up. It is what it is. But I think it's just great conversations to have. That's all. Just because it's like it's out there, we gotta discuss it, y'all. It's like
Yeah,
keep on bringing it up, and we got to say how we feel about it. But
Right.
but
let's go ahead. Before we move on to our next topic, let's go ahead and make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too, and hit that notification bell. That way, you can get all of the information, all of our videos is coming out, and also subscribe to the Substack as well too. We drop our daily newsletter all the time. Anything that happens as breaking news or big to Chiefs Kingdom, we make sure to create and put something out there for you to observe. We got some stuff for y'all to check out that we already got out there. We got about like 18, posts. We hit y'all with all the daily stuff. So just make sure to subscribe, become a paid member as well too, so you can get that exclusive content, and just support the channel as well too. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. So we need more information. We have a lot of conflicting reports that's going on right now about the Indianapolis Colts and also L'Jarius Sneed's in talks. And the talks were shut down by Adam Schefter as well too, which was on my guy's Lonnie's favorite show, Pat McAfee show. That's on ESPN and everything like that, and on YouTube. So I always love to show those guys some love. But yeah, so honestly, let's start with you, Lonnie. How much truth you think is really in those reports, and how you feel about Sneed actually staying in the AFC if that was to happen? I know you've been arguing with me about that a lot. I say what I gotta say
see,
afterwards.
see, but and this is I just want everybody to know this topic has been like super big just lately. Period. Just off air, like the conversations that are going on and that are being had about this topic, just specifically, are like just really, really crazy. But this is how I feel about this topic. I feel like it's not true. I don't think I feel like what Michael Lombardi was saying, and he's been preaching, even to Pat McAfee. Teams may have called, right? And I feel like a lot of teams may have called, but just because a
Mhm.
team calls does not mean that they're offering you 2 third-round picks and 2 first. That's just not happening. If a team is having dialogue like that and they're going back and forth like that, a trade will ensue shortly after. That means they're really having conversations. Now, a team may have called and asked about, like he said, inquired about a player. May have said, "Oh, what is this? What does this guy look like? What's the physical on this guy? What's the?" So they may have literally just inquired or just asked about a player. Is he available? Like it's one thing to ask if somebody's available. It's another thing to have real trade talks or real contract or the talks of having real contract negotiations. And I just don't think that's been the case with L'Jarius Sneed. And being that Pat McAfee is a super duper big Colts fan, not only a Colts fan, but a Colts alum, a guy that used to play for the Colts. He bangs the table super duper hard for him. This is a guy that wanted this to be true. And I just feel like it was those insiders, Adam Schefter and Michael Lombardi, just kind of killed that. I just know also as a fan base, we just kind of want it to be over with, just in general. Either we're going to get compensation for it or we're going to pay him, one of the two. And I just don't think, like I said, the longer this thing goes on, the more likely he's not to get paid and the more likely he's going to have to play on that tag. That's something that we've talked about before. I don't think the Chiefs mind. I don't think any of us think the Chiefs mind with him having to play on that tag at all. And if that number is ridiculous, like some people are reporting, then I just don't see it happening. But I just wanted to say I don't feel like those reports were true just at all. I feel like teams may have called and several teams may have inquired, but inquiring and interest are two different things.
So, hey, this conversation is getting spicy, y'all. I heard Clinton over there said, I'm starting to disagree with this point. I wanted to go at it, but we got to hear Clinton. What's going on? Like, what you feel? What you think?
Well, what I was saying is I don't think the Chiefs and L'Jarius Sneed are comfortable giving him the franchise tag role and the money for this year because the report is $20 million per year, and that's more than the franchise tag. And it's clear that it seems like Chiefs don't want to pay that. We were talking prior to the offseason fully coming around saying, what would it cost for L'Jarius Sneed? $20 million? And yes, that's how much he wants. But at this point, you don't see a team having willing to give that up. All this reports of what the trade compensation is, I think all of that is probably true. But ultimately, the fact is none of those teams made an agreement with L'Jarius Sneed and his representation to give him a long-term contract. And I think it's solely because L'Jarius wants a certain amount of money that at this point, no NFL team is willing to fork over. So L'Jarius Sneed would have to adjust his number. And when he adjusts that number, that may change how the Chiefs feel about him and whether or not it makes sense for him to be back long term. But I think at this point, Sneed is almost priced his way out of everywhere.
Why your face ain't? Because I was low key saying that too. I was saying this the whole time because we put a poll out there, or we had a conversation. I put a post or something out there about it, and I said the longer this goes on, and we go into the draft, he might really be staying here. Now the question is, do we like the tag? But bro, you low key helped the Chiefs just prove a point. Nobody paying you that. Come back and talk for a minute. We might give you the highest out of all of them, and you won 2 Super Bowls with us. You need to just go in and stay. And he will rather stay. He's from Louisiana. It's not like he's from California, Florida, all that other stuff. He didn't been out in the slums, bro. Like Kansas City is cool. Like we didn't see him walk around, be around in certain spots where it's like, oh yeah, you really over here. Like I think he's fine and comfortable where he's at. But at the end of the day, when you come from those type of parts, you're looking for that money as well too. And it's like closed mouth don't get fed. I tell this to my people at work as well too. If you want help with anything, you need to say what you want, what you need. And this is what he's doing right now. Hey, I'm really trying to get 22 mil. 21. I'm trying to really reset the market. What those medicals looking like? Because the thing is, and what I was talking about as well too, I've never really seen L'Jarius like miss a lot of games with the Chiefs. Like this season, he fought through a lot.
Right.
But at the same time, you can have those lingering injuries that it's like, okay, you go over there, maybe medical staff and training staff, how you work, getting acclimated with your body because their workouts and stuff might be a lot different. It might not be the same. And then, something, drastic could probably happen. We're not wishing that. We're not going to will right now, but just the point. But you're with a team where you already showed us everything you can do. But it looks like they're not even trying to pay that as much as well because that tag number, I think it will make him the highest paid corner this year if he played on the tag, right? At least. So, I mean, you're trying to go up to like 3 or 4 mil more. Like, we got you to where you said you wanted. You're the highest paid.
So you're saying if he plays on the tag, he'll be the highest paid corner in the league?
Yes, because you're getting that 19.5 or whatever it is. That's like the highest out in the league because they go based off the market value.
I could tell you the total highest average per year is Jair Alexander with 21 per year average. Denzel Ward just under that with a little over 20 million a year, and Jalen Ramsey is still on that. So at this point in time, L'Jarius at his cap hit makes him the 4th highest paid corner.
Okay, so it's not that bad. And that's what I said. I was just thinking in general here, y'all. Do you and I just want to say this too about Sneed, if he's been hurt, and if the medical is scaring guys off, oh my God, what can he do fully healthy? Like I've also asked off air before too. If he put up numbers like this without being healthy, oh my God, maybe he does go get 22 million with the full healthy season. Nevertheless, could we see a Chris Jones?
Can I play devil's advocate with that? Because maybe L'Jarius will never be fully healthy because of the way he plays corner. He plays bump and run, beat up guys. You don't think a guy who constantly hits other people eventually is going to feel those hits on his own body?
I mean,
yeah, he don't play a lot of he don't play back a lot. He's like, I'm in your face.
You are playing devil's advocate, Clinton, and you playing it good. So I don't, like you said, I mean, he's a physical corner, so that's true. But I mean, Jalen Ramsey plays the same way. I mean, now he is a bigger body, but I mean, he plays the same exact way. I just feel like his name it was big in college. It was big when it got to the NFL. So we pay him. So I just feel like L'Jarius Sneed has earned his way into where he is right now. So maybe they are saying prove it again. But I'm thinking, can we see a Chris Jones situation here where we in order to get cap relief, we figure something out?
Now I was gonna say that before we went ahead and move on to the next topic, but I was gonna speak on that. I will disagree with Clint on this. I think he does play on the tag if he really had to, and it got to that point because you're not gonna find nowhere else to go, and it's not gonna be any point for you missing out on money, missing those games, and getting those fines as well too, especially on this 1-year deal, and you already having this trouble. I think he's someone who is a worker. He loves the game. I think he wants to come back in. Repeat. He already said it in the press conference as well. But I was with that point where Lonnie was talking about, hey, you just like Chris Jones, he had to come back, do a little 1-year deal so he can make all his money, do all that other stuff. And guess what? He ended up being the highest paid in his position. And Aaron Donald ended up retiring afterwards. He helped him get that number that he wanted before retiring. You could have did that earlier, bro, and he would have been the highest paid. But it's okay. What happened? You do the same thing. Like you killed this year. Great, you're the reason why you start and play all games instead of missing one game. You show again that you can do this again. Other teams will call again, and they're not gonna miss out this time. But guess what? You might have show the Chiefs like, nah, we're gonna keep him, and we're gonna keep on figuring out the offense as well too. Because if we locked out in this defense, we got Patrick Mahomes still. And y'all saw what Brady did with the defense. Just get him some guys that can go run some route, catch some balls, and get some touchdowns. And we're talking about Travis Kelce straight for 3. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. So don't let that happen. That's why I think longer this go, it plays in the Chiefs' favor. That's all. But let's go ahead and talk about this Jackson County vote. The Chiefs and the Royals are hoping to get Jackson County voters in favor of their move to keep both teams for the same tax. The Chiefs want to tear down Kauffman Stadium and add to their stadium and parking lots. And also, the Royals are hoping to move near the T-Mobile Center and bulldoze several local businesses. So let me go ahead and begin with this because we're going to get everyone's opinion about this. Being someone who is from Kansas City, but now is not living there currently, I don't want to be someone who try to encourage and say you should vote on something that a lot of people think is going to affect them, because I'm not there. But I would say from somebody who's not there anymore and know that that's always been a staple to our community, something that I can latch on from away. Of course, I want them to find a way and probably be able to vote yes, just so we can keep them in Kansas City. Now we know that it's going to be difficulty with figuring out parking downtown and also what we're doing with local businesses as well too. But I hope they can find a way to where it doesn't affect the local businesses. Y'all figure out what y'all going to do with parking, because I think baseball ballparks are meant to be downtown. That's in every big local city, local baseball town we know across the entire MLB. A lot of their parks is downtown. Now, I didn't talk about the aesthetic before as well too, and Clinton's going to add and give his point about that as well a little bit later on because we talked about this off air. And also, Lonnie, I'm going to go to you next on this because you've been very big on it. But in general, it's just my whole thought process. I think they're for real. Like, hey, we're getting a lot of national clout. We're all in the media. We're getting on game shows about stuff. You're seeing it. We've seen a lot of posts on it. They're trying to capitalize, and I feel they think their plans is going to bring more revenue to Kansas City just because we're a sports city. That's what we know. And then downtown, it's very fun, light. You see it on there during the playoffs as well too. People see that out of because their team is not in the playoffs no more. I was just thinking like back in the day when I was watching like the AFC Championship before, and Baltimore is kind of like a very dark stadium, but just for some reason, like the surrounding area, seeing how it was, it just looked lit. Like, I don't know. And people are seeing that with Kansas City, and they're gonna be like, man, I gotta go up there for a weekend, or make sure to go up there for a game, something. So, Lonnie, how you feel, bro? Just go ahead and let me know.
Yeah, so to be totally honest and being somebody from Kansas City, I don't like it. In general, I feel like this thing has been played with within the community for a long time. We know that they have the leases over in Raytown, and they kind of like made it to where the Chiefs are gonna move to Kansas or the Royals may move to Kansas. They've kind of made this big scare and like uproar to get us to kind of get the Royals to move downtown. Nevertheless, I think we are at a point now where they're running commercials saying to keep the Royals and Chiefs in Kansas City, vote yes on this prop or whatever. Whatever the case may be, this is where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't like it. I understand what they're trying to do. I understand that we are recognized nationally now, being that we won 3 Super Bowls in the biggest sport in the world. The
Mm-hmm.
NFL is the biggest sport in the world, so we are in the spotlight more
Right.
than any city, probably right now. Just as far as when the NFL comes around, and just as far as having a ton of eyes on the city. But I can see this also just being just profitable for, like you said, for the people of Kansas City in general. We are becoming a tourist attraction, being that we have the best quarterback in the world. We have one of the best football teams in NFL history. So being with that going on, having one of the hottest young baseball players in Kansas City in Bobby Witt Jr., one of the
Mm-hmm.
youngest phenoms, I can see why they're doing this. Building that streetcar downtown is kind of just all saying it's all kind of pointing to why and what they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing. Nevertheless, like you said, I just hate it for local businesses. Like I told Dale, that street that they're building that on, Dale had his wedding reception on it.
Mm-hmm.
So with this
Mm-hmm.
stadium going up, if that was a couple years down the line, that maybe doesn't happen. So it's
Right.
like they're taking away a lot of memories and just a lot of different things that may have taken place right there in those local businesses and kind of just putting it by the wayside. And I just really don't like the parking situation. Anybody that knows downtown Kansas City, you do not want to be caught anywhere around there, trying to get on one of those highways, trying to get on the 71, trying to take those little bitty highways, one of those back streets, all those one-way streets. Like we said, it's just I think a disaster waiting to happen. It's already hard getting away from the stadium in Raytown where there's a ton of space. So I just don't like it. I don't like it in general. But we'll see where it goes. I know I have to vote on it, and I don't think I'm gonna be voting yes.
All right. God, you took me on a roller coaster with that one. You gave me a lot of things to think about. Some things that stuck out to me in my mind. Y'all know what's going on in Oakland, right? Or should I say the official removal of Oakland? So
Yeah.
Oakland is a city whose society would not pay for the upgrades to stadiums, and all of their teams move. And we saw the Athletics all last year have the worst attendance, the worst fans. All they want to do is the team to sell. And what do? They move to Las Vegas in hopes of being profitable. That's a team that didn't win anything, and that was a team that had high demands of their city. The other thing that sticks out to me about this vote, for the shortest amount of time has the Chiefs been attached to this vote. The entire time it has been around the Royals. They want to make a stadium. They don't know where to put it. They don't know what it looks like. They don't have anything prepared. And now April 2nd's coming up, and that's the exact same state that it was a year ago when all of it was just planning. All they've decided is that the owner is not going to fork over half as much money as he should to build this stadium. The Chiefs, after all that, have clearly seen that the push for the Royals has not been going well. And so now they feel the need to jump on and show that pride of Chiefs Kingdom and get the fans and get the grandkids in these commercials to hype up the idea that the Chiefs could realistically move. Mark Donovan, the president, going on the news and in press conferences and saying there could be a legit shot that they move. All these teams are making threats about going somewhere when they haven't even planned anything about it. And they just want us, the taxpayers, to slurp it up and say, just because you're a sports team, I will blindly follow you like I do a sports team. And that may work for some. It doesn't work for everybody because they know the actual facts here. If there was so much more preparation into this instead of just these thrown together models in an AI software that you got to put out for next week, a lot more thought, actual planning, like say where this business is going to go. What are you building next to the stadium in its place? But no, the Chiefs and Royals have just asked Jackson County taxpayers, hey, that deal that you guys have been paying for the two stadiums right next to each other, we're going to put them 20 miles apart from each other, barely in Jackson County. I mean, when I think of downtown, I don't think of Jackson County anymore. Maybe I'm sacrilegious for thinking that, but it's not the same. It's a tough scene. As someone who literally lives less than 15 miles distance from both stadiums at this point, a person who can go to a Chiefs game and not get on the highway, and you know what that feels like when you're an out of state or whatever traveler, that is your go-to. You crowd the highway. If you can get home without getting stuck in traffic, that is the godsend. And parking is an issue, and people can complain that it gets brought up as an issue, but people complain about parking downtown as it is now, and there is not half as many things to do if they were now planning to build this ballpark that has 80 games in it during the summer. And of course, they'd want to be like the Chiefs and have concerts in their stadiums because they'd want to generate revenue for their property that they just built. It doesn't mean that us taxpayers are going to see any benefit of that. The benefit is to quote jobs that none of us have with them. So everything is always the prospect of the economy. Mark Davis made the statement that the Chiefs alone have added $1 billion of value to Kansas City. It wasn't just because the team was on the field, it was because the fans showed up and showed out. So they're using fandom against common logic, and I mean it's political, and you shouldn't be mixing sports and politics because you are routing up the wrong feelings out of people. So
I mean, very well spoke, Clint. I think it couldn't have been said any better. Honestly, like, don't mix the two. Keep them separate because, like you said, the Chiefs for so long had nothing to do with the situation, and now all of a sudden we're sitting the Chiefs and Royals talking about vote yes on Proposition 1 or whatever this is to keep the Royals in Jackson, keep the Royals and Chiefs in Kansas City. It's a really, really big political game going on, and it feels like it's a scare tactic. It's a lot of scare tactics going on just in general. But I mean, we'll see who falls for it and who doesn't. I like you said, I don't think people in Kansas City care if like what's going on or not. Like you said, when you're trying to cause an uproar about a team that is not even relevant as of right now, I mean, I don't think that's a good shot for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think both of y'all made some great points, and I wouldn't disagree with none of it. My vote wouldn't matter anyway. I can't even vote up there, so
Mom and pops is voting.
so yeah, but how it sound though, it sounds like a lot of people was not really feeling it, so it might take a while. It seems like to me that pretty much everybody like what you were saying is pretty much y'all just probably threw some stuff together, really didn't put no real planning into it. Y'all just trying to use this as like y'all just trying to use this as a situation to really really boast and trying to get some money out of the community so y'all can start probably making those plans and doing it, because at the end of the day people don't want to pay into something that they don't see and what the vision that they can't even envision, like how is it going to affect us as well too. You gotta come up with all of that. So I think if it was better preparation, you actually had the signs and stuff all together, this is something that should have been done. But once again, we already know about the owner with the Kansas City Chiefs, Clark Hunt. He's all about keeping stuff really just adding to it and trying to keep the legacy of what his father has done. So he really wasn't out there talking much about it. It's the Royals, a team that is trying to find some type of likability and be surrounded about people who wants to support. So we'll see what's going on. But anything y'all want to add before we go ahead and close it out and say goodbye to the good people?
No, let's keep looking out on the lookout for Sneed talks. We looking because it's a hot topic. So be watching for us. We might come back in fisticuffs, y'all, about some Sneed talks.
You Clinton? Anything else you
Nah.
got?
No, hey, I don't want Sneed talk. The more we don't hear about Sneed, the more likely he might stay. We want him
That's
to
true.
stay. So
Right. At this point, that hey, come back, bro. Let's three-peat. Let's get it. Let's finish it. But
right.
that's all. That's all we have for this episode of Gridiron Gambit. We'd like to thank everyone for just supporting the channel and watching, liking, and subscribing as well too. Just make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too, and click that notification bell. That way you get all the updates and all the videos that we get dropped, that we have dropped on there. And then make sure to subscribe to our Substack as well too. That way you can get all the newsletters that comes through each weekday, Monday through Friday, and anything that we put out that's breaking news or something that's touching on a particular topic that we are trying to discuss and break down. Also become a paid subscriber as well too. That way you can get all the exclusive content that we put on there and all the videos that we put out there as well too. But that's all we have for everybody for this episode of Gridiron Gambit. And as always, go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion. So please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom